Get your
Escort
honor
her
out of
out,
here.
he says. No anger. No volume. The room hesitates anyway. The girl stands where the sunlight breaks against the glass, backpack hanging from one shoulder. Her shoes are scuffed. Her uniform doesn't match the room. She notices all of it at once and decides not to apologize for any of it. Security shifts. She doesn't move. You asked to see me, she says. A few heads turn. Phones are already halfway up. No one pretends otherwise anymore. You contacted my school, she continues. You said it was about funding. The billionaire doesn't look at her. He looks at the tablet in front of Legal. Legal doesn't look back. That isn't accurate, he says. It's not a denial. It's a correction. The girl nods slowly, like she's filing something away. Okay. That single word unsettles the room more than shouting would have. She turns toward the door. Security freezes, uncertain whether to move or stand down. They've been trained for resistance, not compliance. At the door, she stops. Not for him. For the glass. For the record, she says, glancing at the phones now openly recording. My mother told me you'd pretend not to recognize me. The billionaire exhales sharply. This time, he looks up. Not at her face. At her posture. At how little she seems to need the room's permission. You don't belong here, he says. You never did. The words are clean. Measured. Finished. She doesn't flinch. She smiles once, briefly, as if confirming a theory. Thank you, she says. Then she leaves. No one touches her. The door seals behind her with a soft click. The room stays still. Someone laughs, too late. Someone scrolls like they've just remembered something urgent. The billionaire adjusts his cuff. Delete anything you recorded, he says. No one answers. He doesn't repeat himself. By the time the clip hits the first group chat, it's already edited. The pause trimmed. The smile slowed. The line rearranged. She doesn't upload it. She doesn't even see it at first. She's in a bus seat across town, forehead against the glass, counting stops so she doesn't cry in public. Her phone vibrates again and again. She ignores it until the buzzing turns frantic. A message from a number she doesn't know. Is this you? She opens the link. The caption is wrong. The context is wrong. The comments are worse. By the time she gets home, her name isn't hers anymore. Across the apartment, her mother stands at the sink. Sleeves rolled. Hair tied back too tightly. The faucet runs longer than necessary. I told you not to go, her mother says. Not angry. Tired. They said it was about a scholarship, the girl replies. Her mother shuts off the water. Turns slowly. He doesn't give scholarships, she says. He gives leverage. The girl drops her bag. Sits on the floor. Her phone lights up again. She turns it face down. He looked at me like I was a problem he hadn't scheduled, she says. Her mother considers that. That's how he looks at everyone, she says. Some people just don't notice. The girl nods. That doesn't make it better. Silence stretches. It fixes nothing. In the back of a moving car, the billionaire listens without responding. The voice across from him is calm. Practiced. We deny familiarity, the voice says. We question motive. We offer privacy. No, the billionaire says. The voice pauses. We say nothing, he continues. This burns out. That's risky. He looks out the window. The city moves like it always does, indifferent. Silence always wins, he says. It usually does. That night, he pours a drink. Leaves it untouched. He stands in the dark longer than necessary, watching a city that refuses to look back. His phone lights up. Unknown number. He deletes it. The next morning, the boardroom is wrong. No greetings. No small talk. A tablet slides across the table. The paused frame is unflattering. Midword. Mid-breath. Explain, someone says. There's nothing to explain, the billionaire replies. Another tablet slides forward. A document. Old. Medical. He doesn't touch it. Records can be fabricated, he says. They can, a director replies. Patterns are harder. He straightens. I won't dignify this, he says. You already did. A woman at the end of the table replies. The meeting ends early. That never happens. At home, the girl sits on her bed. Homework untouched. Messages piling up. Some cruel. Some apologetic. Some asking for interviews. She blocks them all. Her phone vibrates again. Unknown number. She waits. I shouldn't have said that. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Return. We need to talk. She types back. You already did. Minutes pass. This is complicated. She laughs once, sharp and humorless. It always is when you're rich. She drops the phone. Across town, the billionaire rubs his face. He hasn't slept. His assistant watches carefully. Find out who contacted her school, he says. Quietly. A pause. No, he adds. Not her. The assistant nods, unsure what that means. 3 days later, the hospital lights hum. The girl sits beside her mother, who looks smaller under white sheets. Machines blink in rhythms the girl doesn't understand yet. A doctor explains numbers. Urgency. Options. The girl nods. Asks smart questions. Gets careful answers. When the doctor leaves, she presses her forehead against the vending machine in the hall. Counts coins. Comes up short. Her phone vibrates. Unknown number. She answers. What do you want? She asks. I can help, the voice says. No, she replies immediately. I will, the voice insists. Why? Silence. I owe you, he says. She exhales. You owe me nothing, she says. You owe yourself. She hangs up. In his office, the billionaire stares at the dead call. This was not on the schedule. The narrative turns before the girl notices. It always does. By the fourth day, the comments change tone. Not fully. Not all at once. Just enough to feel it. She's not just denied anymore. She's convenient. A clip surfaces from a different angle. Someone's voice added over it. A freeze frame timed wrong. Why is she smiling? Why wait 20 years? Why now, when he's vulnerable? The girl scrolls once. Twice. Stops. She closes the app. At school, a counselor asks if she's okay. A teacher asks if she needs time. A girl she barely knows asks for a selfie, then apologizes when she says no. The bathroom stall becomes her office. Her refuge. Her mistake. At lunch, a boy she's never spoken to before leans across the table. My mom says you're lying, he says, like he's sharing trivia. She stares at him until he looks away. That night, she doesn't go home right away. She walks. The city feels different when it knows your name. At the hospital, her mother sits up too straight. Her color is worse. Her patient's thinner. They called again, her mother says. Who? The girl asks. The foundation, her mother replies. They want to move me. The girl freezes. Move you where? A private wing, her mother says. Different doctors. Better machines. The girl exhales. Relief comes first. Then something else. What did you say? She asks. Her mother doesn't answer immediately. I told them I'd think about it, she says. That wasn't your decision. The girl snaps, then stops herself. Her mother looks at her sharply. It's my body, she says. And it's my name they're using. The girl sits down. They'll attach conditions, she says. They already did, her mother replies. The girl's stomach tightens. What kind? Her mother looks away. They want silence, she says. And gratitude. The girl laughs once, bitter. They don't get to buy you, she says. Her mother meets her eyes. They already bought your time, she says. Now they're negotiating mine. Across town, the billionaire watches the coverage with the sound off. The smile freeze frame loops. Again. A graph sinks in the corner of the screen. Not dramatically. Methodically. This will stabilize, his advisor says. No, the billionaire replies. It won't. He doesn't explain. A new face appears on the screen behind the advisor. Older. Unhurried. Calm in a way that doesn't seek permission. The advisor stiffens. I didn't schedule. I know, the man says. That's why I'm here. The billionaire turns. You're late, he says. The man smiles faintly. You're early, he replies. You just don't know it yet. They sit. No introductions. You don't need me, the billionaire says. You need time, the man replies. I can sell you some. I don't sell pieces of my company. The man nods. Then you'll lose all of it. Silence stretches. The man leans back. You have a credibility problem, he continues. Markets forgive numbers. They don't forgive narratives. I don't do narratives, the billionaire says. The man smiles again. You already did, he replies. On camera. The girl finds out about the rival through her phone. Not a call. Not a message. An article. Rival firm signals stability amid competitor scandal. A quote stands out. Leadership is not inherited, the rival says. It's demonstrated. Her chest tightens. She scrolls down. There's a photo. The rival stands at a podium. Calm. Unrushed. Like a man waiting for weather to pass. She locks the phone. That evening, her mother refuses dinner. Eat, the girl insists. I'm not hungry, her mother says. That's not true, the girl replies. Her mother sighs. You're trying to protect me from him, she says. But you're not protecting me from you. The girl stiffens. What does that mean? Her mother gestures vaguely. You think if you hold out long enough, this stays clean. The girl swallows. It's not clean, she says. Then stop pretending it is, her mother replies. You're already negotiating. The girl doesn't answer. Her phone vibrates. Unknown number. She doesn't answer. Another message arrives. We should meet. She deletes it. At the office, the billionaire loses a director. No speech. No statement. A resignation email hits the board inbox at 9:14 a.m. By noon, 2 more follow. By 3, the rival's stock ticks upward. The calm man returns. You're bleeding confidence, he says. Not capital. The billionaire stares at the city. What do you want, he asks. The calm man slides a folder across the table. Doesn't push. Alignment, he says. The billionaire doesn't open it. I don't do favors, he says. Then stop asking for them. The calm man replies. At the hospital, the girl answers the phone this time. I told you not to call, she says. I know, the voice replies. That's why I waited. She exhales. What do you want? To help, the billionaire says. You already tried, she replies. No, he says. I tried to contain. She laughs softly. And now I'm failing, he admits. That lands differently. She closes her eyes. My mother won't move, she says. Not unless you put it in writing. I will, he says immediately. Without conditions, she adds. Silence. Say it, she says. Without conditions, he repeats. She opens her eyes. You're lying, she says. Not about this, he replies. Why, she asks. Another pause. Because it won't matter, he says. Her breath catches. That's not reassuring, she says. It's honest, he replies. The rival's representative appears 2 days later. Not announced. Not aggressive. Waiting by the vending machines like someone killing time. We won't waste yours, the representative says. You already are, the girl replies. A smile. Polite. Controlled. You don't owe us anything, the representative continues. That's what makes you useful. She stiffens. I'm not useful, she says. You are, he replies. Because you're real. She shakes her head. I'm not interested. Good, he says. Neither are we. She pauses. Then why are you here? The representative meets her eyes. Because no matter what you choose, he says, this doesn't end well. He leaves her with that. That night, the girl sits beside her mother's bed. Her mother sleeps fitfully. The machines hum. Numbers blink. You're thinking again, her mother murmurs, half asleep. Yes, the girl admits. About saving people who didn't save you, her mother says. The girl doesn't respond. Her mother opens her eyes. Promise me something, she says. What? The girl asks. Don't disappear into their logic, her mother says. It eats faster than guilt. The girl nods. She doesn't promise. The headline changes tone before it changes words. It stops asking questions. It starts answering them. Why now? Who benefits? Inside the daughter claim. The girl doesn't read the articles. She reads the comments beneath them. That's where certainty lives now. Someone finds her mother's old job. Someone finds a photo from a fundraiser she didn't know existed. Someone circles a donation date in red. She's been planning this. Look at the timing. Follow the money. There is no money. That doesn't slow them down. At school, the principal asks her to take independent study for a few weeks. Says it's for her safety. Says it gently. She packs her bag without arguing. The hallway watches. At the hospital, the tone shifts again. Doctors linger longer. Nurses speak more carefully. Administrators start using names they didn't know before. A new consent form appears. Her mother refuses to sign it. They want me transferred, her mother says. Again. Why? The girl asks, though she already knows. Visibility, her mother replies. They want you quieter. The girl shakes her head. They don't get to decide that. Her mother studies her face. They already have, she says. The billionaire learns what fear actually feels like in a different room. Not the boardroom. Not the office. A small conference room with no windows. Lawyers seated too close together. Coffee untouched. A spreadsheet glows on the screen. Quarter projections flatten. Then dip. Then fracture. This doesn't recover, someone says. It can, the billionaire replies. With time. No, another voice says. With trust. Silence. A lawyer clears her throat. There's a structural issue, she says. Even if the narrative stabilizes. It won't, someone interrupts. Even if it did. The lawyer continues. The exposure triggers clauses. The billionaire looks up. What clauses? She hesitates. Morality clauses, she says. That's when he understands. Not reputation. Not money. Inheritance. Legacy. He built this to outlive him. And now it won't. The call comes while the girl is in the stairwell, pacing to burn off panic. Unknown number. She answers. I know what they're saying about you, the billionaire says. She doesn't respond. I didn't leak anything, he adds. I don't care, she says. I do, he replies. Because it's working. She stops walking. What is, she asks. They're separating you from sympathy, he says. From urgency. So, she replies. You denied me. That did the same thing. Yes, he says quietly. And I survived it. She leans against the wall. That's your advice? She asks. Survive being erased? No, he says. I'm telling you why silence wins. She exhales sharply. I don't want to win, she says. I want my mother alive. Silence on the line. I know, he replies. And for the first time, she believes him. The rival doesn't call. The rival waits. A charity gala appears on her feed, sponsored by his foundation. Her name not mentioned. Her face not shown. But the language is careful. Family. Continuity. Stability. The girl watches the live stream alone in the hospital cafeteria. The rival steps to the podium. He doesn't mention her. He doesn't mention the scandal. He talks about responsibility. About stewardship. About what lasts. Applause rises easily. She closes the stream. Her mother worsens that night. Not dramatically. Quietly. Oxygen adjusted. Voices lowered. The doctor pulls the girl aside. We're losing time, he says. How much, she asks. He gives her a look that doesn't answer numbers. She nods anyway. The next morning, the billionaire makes a mistake. He comes to the hospital. Not announced. Not hidden. Seen. Cameras catch him in the lobby. No words exchanged. No confrontation. Just presence. The story pivots again. Billionaire seeks redemption at hospital. The girl sees the alert before she sees him. He waits in the hall. Doesn't enter the room. I didn't ask you to come, she says. I know, he replies. You're making it worse, she says. I'm making it visible, he corrects. She studies him. That's new, she says. I'm out of options, he admits. That lands harder than apology would have. They sit on opposite sides of the hall. Machines hum between them. I don't want your money, she says. I know, he replies. I don't want your protection. I know. I don't want your silence. He exhales. I do, he says. There it is. She waits. For how long, she asks. Long enough, he says. For what, she asks. For this to end without everything collapsing, he replies. She laughs softly. You keep saying that like it includes me. He doesn't answer. The false leverage comes quietly. A call from the board. A call from a journalist. A call from a politician she's never met. They all want the same thing. A statement. Just a sentence. Just clarity. Just enough to calm things down. The girl listens. She says nothing. After the fifth call, she realizes something dangerous. They need her. Not legally. Narratively. She hangs up. Her phone buzzes again. This time, it's the rival's representative. We don't need much, he says. Just consistency. She closes her eyes. What do you mean? She asks. Stand where you already stand, he replies. She understands. That night, she tells her mother everything. Not the offers. The pressure. Her mother listens without interrupting. When the girl finishes, her mother closes her eyes. They'll eat you, she says. Whether you feed them or not. The girl nods. I know, she says. Her mother opens her eyes again. Then choose how, she says. The billionaire gets the report at midnight. A projection. Even with silence. Even with cooperation. Even with alignment. The numbers don't recover. The system is already shedding him. He stares at the screen until it blurs. This was never about saving the company. It was about delaying the truth. Across town, the girl sits alone in the hospital chapel. She drafts a message. Deletes it. Drafts another. Deletes it again. Finally, she types. I'll talk. She doesn't send it yet. Outside, dawn edges into the city. The first birds don't know what's coming. The meeting happens in a place designed to look neutral. Glass. Wood. Plants that never wilt. The rival arrives first. No entourage. No rush. He stands when she enters. Waits until she sits before taking his own chair. You didn't have to come, he says. She meets his eyes. That's not true, she replies. A faint smile. Not mocking. Appreciative. You're learning quickly, he says. She doesn't thank him. They don't talk about marriage at first. They talk about markets, about public confidence, about how belief moves faster than proof. You don't have to like us, the rival says. You just have to be consistent. And if I'm not? She asks. He folds his hands. Then nothing stabilizes, he says. And your mother becomes a footnote. She doesn't react. She already knew that part. The word comes late. Deliberately. There's a way to formalize alignment, the rival says. She tilts her head. Say it, she replies. A union, he says. Public. Durable. She exhales slowly. You want me to marry you, she says. Yes, he replies. No drama. No softening. Not because of love, she says. No, he agrees. Not because of family, she says. No. Because people understand ownership better than explanation, she finishes. He nods. They believe what they can picture, he says. She leans back. And if I say no? She asks. He doesn't answer immediately. Then we continue as we are, he says. Until the damage spreads. She smiles thinly. That's not an answer, she says. It's the only honest one, he replies. She leaves without committing. That night, the billionaire doesn't sleep. Not from guilt. From arithmetic. The board calls again. Lawyers again. Advisors again. All roads lead to the same conclusion. He calls her just before dawn. You don't have to do this, he says. She stares at the ceiling. You don't get to say that now, she replies. I mean it, he insists. I won't force you. You already did, she says. You just outsourced it. Silence. They'll destroy you too, he says. She laughs softly. They already did, she replies. The announcement is clean. Too clean. A press release. Neutral language. Words like future and continuity and mutual respect. No mention of love. No mention of reconciliation. Just alignment. The girl stands beside the rival at a podium. Cameras flash. Questions are asked and deflected. She answers exactly what she rehearsed. Nothing more. Nothing less. The stock bumps. Briefly, the graph lifts. People exhale. At the hospital, the tone changes again. Faster approvals. Better rooms. New doctors. Her mother watches it all with a sharp, tired eye. You did this, her mother says. Yes, the girl replies. Her mother closes her eyes. They didn't save you, she says. They used you. I know, the girl replies. Her mother grips her hand. Then why do you look relieved? She asks. The girl doesn't answer. The collapse doesn't announce itself. It leaks. A memo here. A clause there. A pension fund quietly withdraws. A partner delays. The graph dips again. Then again. The rival doesn't panic. He adjusts. This takes time, he says publicly. Privately, he stops returning certain calls. The billionaire watches the numbers fall. Not fast enough to make headlines. Too fast to stop. He calls her. It's not working, he says. She closes her eyes. I know, she replies. They're still leaving, he says. Even with the announcement. She exhales. Because it was never about me, she says. Silence. He doesn't deny it. Public opinion fractures. Some call her brave. Some call her calculating. Some call her what they always do when women refuse to disappear. The comments sharpen again. She sold herself. She was always in on it. This was the plan. She reads none of it. She watches her mother sleep. The rival meets her again. Not angry. Not apologetic. The markets are impatient, he says. You promise stability, she replies. I promise perception, he corrects. She stares at him. So this is it, she says. I did what you asked. And you did it well, he replies. But it didn't save him, she says. No, he agrees. It didn't save anyone, she says. The rival pauses. That was never guaranteed, he says. That night, the billionaire packs his office. No press. No speech. A box of objects that mattered once. He stops at a photo he doesn't remember taking. He puts it face down. At the hospital, the girl sits alone. Her phone buzzes. A message from the rival. We'll need to adjust. She doesn't reply. Another message arrives. You still matter. She turns the phone off. The market opens without ceremony. It closes without mercy. By mid-morning, the word temporary disappears from analyst notes. By noon, the word irreversible replaces it. The stock doesn't collapse. It drains. Confidence doesn't panic. It migrates. The girl watches the ticker in a corner of the hospital cafeteria screen while stirring coffee she won't drink. The anchor speaks calmly, the way people do when disaster has become familiar. Despite last week's announcement, Investor confidence continues to erode. She turns away before they say his name. At headquarters, security changes uniforms. New badges. New protocols. The billionaire's access card fails at the executive floor. The guard apologizes too quickly. Temporary, the guard says. The billionaire nods. He knows better. The board meets without him. Not formally. Not cleanly. Emails fly. Lawyers speak in parallel rooms. Decisions happen before votes. By afternoon, a statement circulates. Leadership transition pending. He reads it alone. No one asks him to respond. The rival calls once. Not to gloat. To close accounts. This didn't go the way we expected, the rival says. No, the billionaire replies. We'll absorb what we can, the rival continues. But the rest. Burns, the billionaire finishes. A pause. You did what you could, the rival says. The billionaire laughs quietly. No, he replies. I did what delayed it. At the hospital, the girl receives a message she doesn't open. Then another. Then a third. All from the same number. We need to talk. She deletes them without reading. Her mother wakes in the late afternoon. Looks clearer. More present. You're quiet, her mother says. I don't have anything left to say, the girl replies. Her mother studies her. They didn't keep their promises, she says. No, the girl agrees. Her mother squeezes her hand. Then what did you lose? She asks. The girl doesn't answer. She doesn't know yet. The cost arrives that night. Not in headlines. In rooms. A hospital administrator appears with paperwork that isn't hostile, just final. Your coverage will continue through the end of the quarter, the administrator says. And after, the girl asks. A careful pause. We'll reassess. The girl nods. She understands what reassess means. The rival's representative appears again. Same patience. Same tone. This wasn't your fault, he says. She looks at him. That's worse, she replies. He doesn't argue. We still believe in your value, he continues. She laughs softly. Then you misunderstood it, she says. He inclines his head. If circumstances change. They won't, she replies. He leaves. The billionaire clears his office. No escort. No audience. He places the last box in his car himself. The building doesn't watch him go. That's the final insult. That evening, the girl stands at the hospital window. The city looks the same. That feels like betrayal. Her phone buzzes. A final message from him. I'm sorry. She stares at it for a long time. Then deletes it. The press reframes the story by morning. Not tragedy. Not scandal. Inevitability. Market corrects after prolonged instability. Her name disappears from headlines. That's when it hurts. At breakfast, her mother eats half a piece of toast. That's new, the girl says. Her mother smiles faintly. Don't get used to it, she replies. The girl sits across from her. You were right, she says. Her mother nods. I know, she replies. The girl tries to return to school. The principal avoids her eyes. The hallway doesn't. Whispers follow. Not hostile. Curious. Like she's a lesson. The billionaire appears on television once. No questions taken. A short statement about transition and responsibility. He doesn't mention her. She notices. That night, the girl realizes what she lost. Not reputation. Not leverage. Time. Weeks of her mother's clarity traded for a promise that dissolved. She sits beside her mother's bed. I thought if I stood there, she says quietly, something would hold. Her mother reaches for her hand. It did, she says. You. The girl shakes her head. That's not enough, she says. Her mother looks at her. It never is, she replies. The call comes after midnight. Not from the rival. Not from him. From someone she doesn't recognize. We'd like to speak with you, the voice says. About what you saw. The girl doesn't answer yes. She doesn't answer no. She hangs up. The city forgets quickly. That's its talent. Within a week, another scandal replaces theirs. Another face. Another certainty. The algorithms move on without sentiment. The girl notices when the reporters stop waiting outside the hospital. She notices when her name stops appearing in search suggestions. She notices when silence feels heavier than noise. The billionaire leaves town quietly. No farewell interview. No public reckoning. His car disappears into traffic like it never mattered where it was going. For the first time, he is unremarkable. At the hospital, her mother improves enough to be transferred. Not upgraded. Just stable. The paperwork takes longer now. The girl signs where she's told. She learns the language of waiting rooms. Of billing offices. Of polite deferrals. The system stops bending. It never broke. They sit together in a smaller room. Her mother's voice is stronger. Still thin. Still cautious. You didn't save him, her mother says. No, the girl replies. You didn't save them either, her mother continues. No. Her mother studies her face. But you didn't disappear, she says. The girl nods. That's not the same thing, she says. Her mother smiles faintly. No, she agrees. But it's close. The call comes 3 days later. A number she recognizes now. She answers. You don't owe me anything, the billionaire says. She closes her eyes. That's new, she replies. I mean it, he says. I won't ask. She waits. I just wanted to tell you, he continues, that I was wrong. She doesn't respond. I denied you because acknowledgement would have meant permanence, he says. And permanence terrifies me. She opens her eyes. That's not an apology, she says. No, he agrees. It's an explanation. She exhales. Explanations don't repair, she says. I know, he replies. Silence stretches. I won't contact you again, he says. Good, she replies. The line disconnects. A week later, a letter arrives. Not from him. From a firm she's never heard of. It contains a settlement offer. No admission. No apology. Just distance. She reads it once. Then again. She folds it carefully. Puts it in a drawer. Doesn't sign. The rival fades. Not dramatically. Efficiently. His company absorbs what it wanted. Releases what it didn't. He never contacts her again. She understands that too. The girl returns to school. No assembly. No announcement. A teacher hands her a packet and avoids her eyes. A friend hugs her too long. Another friend doesn't. She learns which silences are permanent. One afternoon, months later, she passes the building where it started. The glass still shines. The lobby still hums. Security still stands where they stood before. No one recognizes her. She pauses across the street. Not for closure. For measurement. She remembers the file being aligned. The words, "You don't belong here." She realizes something quietly. He wasn't wrong. She never belonged to the system. That was the mistake everyone made. Her mother waits at home. Stronger now. Slower. Alive. You're late, her mother says. I walked, the girl replies. Her mother nods. Good, she says. That night, the girl opens a new document. Not a statement. Not a memoir. A record. Names. Dates. Rooms. Conversations. Not accusations. Facts. She doesn't know what she'll do with it yet. She only knows she won't erase it. The final headline appears months later. Not about her. Not about him. Former CEO testifies in closed proceedings. No photos. No quotes. She reads it once. Then closes the browser. In the mirror, she studies her face. Older. Not hardened. Aligned. She understands now what the opening denial really was. Not rejection. Containment. He denied her because her existence proved something dangerous. That power doesn't choose what lasts. Witnesses do. She turns off the light. The room goes dark. The city continues. And for the first time in the story, she is not leverage. She is not narrative. She is not unwanted. She is simply present. And that is enough.